What's up, everybody? Rob here, back with another episode of me just talking about stuff. And this week I thought it'd be pretty appropriate to kind of talk about the economics of being a mostly free to play arena content creator slash person. There has been a lot of talk about the Magic Arena economy as of late. There was a Saffron Olive video where he talks about how he has spent almost $2,000 this year on making arena content. I believe Peasant Kenobi made a... Did I say peasant? I believe it's Pleasant Kenobi. Is it Pleasant? Peasant? Now I'm second guessing myself. I don't know. You know who I'm talking about. He made a video about how the economy sucks. I think Jeff Hoogland said he quit Magic Arena because of how predatory and bad the Magic economy is. So it's definitely kind of been the talk of the town. And I just figured I would share my perspective, a perspective that nobody asked to hear about, and frankly, most people won't care to hear about. But I think my perspective is probably very similar to a lot of people who play Arena. So, like I've said many times, I'm a mostly free-to-play player. If Saffron Olive is spending $1,700 a year on Arena, I'm spending upwards of $50 a year on Arena, maybe a little more, a little less. I mean, it's been out for 3 years, so I could probably find the average, but I spend money when, honestly, lately, it's just if I need like an extra couple thousand gems for the Mastery Pass, because that is such a good value, and especially when you've already accrued a good amount of gems for the Mastery Pass, it just makes so much sense because you're getting hundreds of dollars of value for, at the time, usually only like $10, $15 worth of gems. And that is kind of what I do. I think I've also paid to draft one of the new sets when they came out just because I really wanted to draft them. And lately, I've noticed that the amount of mythic wildcards and stuff I'm getting seems to have slowed down. Now, I don't know if that's just because I've been drafting more poorly or it's just because the demand for the wildcards is growing. I think it's a little bit of both. I haven't been on quite a hot streak with my drafts, so I haven't been able to kind of keep free rolling my collection. But it's also with all these supplemental products for Historic, it gets expensive. I mean, Kaladesh Remaster just came out, and as soon as that came out, I'm like, oh, cool, I need Chandra, there's just so many good cards in that set that I need that are mythic rares or just rares. I mean, don't even get me started on trying to get lands in these supplemental sets, especially in Kaladesh where it's a land cycle that's actually really good and I want all of them. And I don't have really any of them yet because I just don't have the time to just endlessly grind or the money to just throw at the thing. But with all that being said, I have amassed a pretty respectable collection on Magic Arena. I can build tons of tier 1 decks in both Historic and Standard, and that is because I have basically made sure that I always do my daily quests. And I think that is the most important thing to do as a free-to-play player. Now, I understand stuff gets in the way in your life. You can't always sit down on a computer and blast out 3 to 4 games worth of Arena. I can't every day either. But luckily, and by luckily I mean unluckily, during the COVID lockdown, it's been pretty easy to make time to just, sit on my laptop before bed, crank out a couple games, just get those wins, get those daily quests done. And that plus doing quick drafts for hopefully a good payout in gems, which I can then turn into like premium drafts or premier drafts, whatever they call it for the new sets. It's worked out pretty well in my favor. But that being said, I haven't made a video in over a week because I don't know what to play that's new. I could just go and play some old decks that people like me playing, but I like playing new decks, and if you're that kind of person, the Magic economy is pretty tough on free-to-play players. Now, there was a period of time where I focused on like Mono Green Stompy. I played Mono Green Stompy in Historic. I played Mono Green Stompy in Standard through several rotations, and it was solidly like tier 2, sometimes even tier 1. And during that time, I was able to like reach Mythic. I actually amassed a lot of wild cards, which paid off when I then wanted to get other stuff for new decks. But a lot of these people's videos have kind of got me thinking if I really have strong feelings either way on the way Magic handles their free-to-play player base. And after some thinking, I think it is actually not that terrible. I mean, like I said, I put $50 in a year into Arena. So that means I'm not even spending $10 a month. I'm averaging like $4 a month. That is partially because I've kind of set a budget for myself on Magic, and I really like paper Magic, and I have a lot of paper Magic cards. I mean, right now I just have a bunch of random Magic cards just sitting on my desk. I don't even know what these are. These are just I got a Cinder Shade. I don't even know what he's from. Some what is that, like Apocalypse, or I don't even know. Some old set. I just have Magic cards everywhere. I got Magic cards. It's expensive. And for me personally, I like spending money on things that I own physically. As you can tell by all the comic books I have, all the video game systems, I like collecting things. And now that is slowly shifting as somebody who now lives in a house and space is a big issue. My little office here is not very big. It's pretty much already full. So the idea of amassing collections digitally also appeals to me. But it also scares me because if Magic Arena goes down in a couple years, will I feel like devastated if all of my investment into it was just gone now? Or would I feel like the money I put into it was well spent and I enjoyed my time with the game? I mean, I've spent $60 on digital video games a lot just because over time I get way more than $60 worth of enjoyment out of that game. And at the moment, that is kind of how I feel with Arena. Like I said, spending $50 a year, that's like basically buying a physical copy of like an expansion for Arena every year. That's the cost of a video game. With the new generation of games, that's actually cheaper than new video games because those are like $70 a piece. So I feel like personally, I think there's probably a lot of people in similar shoes as me. They really like Magic, but their main financial focus is on paper Magic. So when it comes to Arena, it's something that's really good. It is really fun, but I'm not going to throw all my money at it. So I got to be smart with how I use my wild cards, how I earn my how I earn my gems. Basically, I just can't be super flippant with my wild cards. But as somebody who runs a series called Wasting Wild Cards, I waste a lot of I have a lot of bad play sets of cards that I regret, and I really want to go back. Back when Magic first started, I think I crafted a bunch of just rare like Boros cards because I was like, oh, Boros aggro will be fun, but it's like, like, yeah, sure. Sometimes I play a Tajik in my deck, but was that worth spending all of those gems? Probably not. Probably would have been better spent on something else. It's been a long time. I don't even think I have a full play set of Hydroid Crisis. There's just cards that I don't have because they're mythics. And over the years, I just wasted my gosh damn wild cards. So here I am just rambling and ranting on. And honestly, I don't know how many better ways there are to kind of fix this problem. I think one thing that'd be very easy is when they ban a card to give you twice the wild cards. Because as we all know, if you ban a good card, you're basically banning that whole deck. And there's a lot more rares and mythics that go into a deck than just the 4 cards you're banning. If you ban something like that goes in an artifact deck, I don't know what that is because there's not really a big artifact deck at the moment, but that's a very like niche archetype. And if you ban, let's just pretend Modern is on Arena. You ban Mox Opal, you're basically banning Affinity. Something like that. That's the example I'm trying to make. And yeah, you get 4 mythic wild cards, but you have all of these now useless cards. And I think if Wizards just is like, hey, we know this happens, here's twice the amount of wild cards, I think that would make things a lot better for people. It'd make it easier to kind of slowly shift into a new deck if you like really dedicated your wild card investment into that deck. Some other things, I think making like the 750 gold rewards thing like a much more regular occurrence would really help, because I've noticed when you can stack those up, you can get to your 5,000 golds for drafts way faster. I think you could probably get a little more generous with your draft prizes as well. Like on quick drafts, the most you can get is 2 packs. Why can't I get like 3 or 4 if I win? Is it really affecting if I win? If I go 7-1 or something like that. I think the prize structure could be more generous. I think there's ways for Magic to be more generous for sure, but I don't think it's being predatory. I think, I mean, inherently things like booster packs and stuff are kind of predatory, but it's a good game, so I can't get angry at it. I mean, like, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on Magic, as most of you probably have if you're into this game. And I don't really feel bad about it because I've had so many hundreds of thousands of hours playing Magic and just having a great time. I mean, these little binders back there, God, there's too much money in those binders. And I don't even have like power or anything, just like modern decks, pioneer decks, commander decks. That shit adds up. And good God, it's worth a lot of money. So actually, in that sense, I do really like Arena because I can just get in and play some Magic and even play some new decks without spending any cash. So that's kind of my perspective as somebody who spends a little bit of money on Arena, but is mostly free to play. And I don't think it's necessarily a predatory system, but I do think it's one that could be streamlined to be a little more friendly to people. But I would love to hear what other people think, what types of players other people are. Are you somebody who sets aside like $20 a week to just jam drafts and stuff like that? Are you somebody who never spends money on anything and just 100% free plays it up? Or are you just kind of like, I don't know, kind of you free play and then you're like, you know what, I want to do a draft. I'll pay 10, $15. I got nothing going on. I think there's just a huge spectrum of things. And obviously, if you're a streamer or like a full-time YouTube content creator and stuff, like it's going to hit you harder because you need to produce content and content and content. This is not my full-time job. I try to make as many videos as I can when time allows it because I enjoy doing it. And I like making fun stuff for people to watch. But like I said, I'm not making any money off this. I can't spend a ton of money on it. I've spent a lot of money on paper Magic. And that's kind of where my heart is. I cannot wait to be vaccinated against the COVID and just start rolling some dice, tapping some cards. It's just, I can't wait. I cannot wait. But in the meantime, like I said, please leave comments. I would love to hear where you stand on the Arena economy, what type of player you are. I really have no idea, like, is Arena like a mostly free to play people? Is there a ton of whales? Like, is it just a lot of people kind of in between? I don't know. That'd be fascinating data that Wizards will never give us, but who knows? Maybe we'll get a little taste of it somewhere down the line. But yeah, thanks for watching.